Hi again and welcome to Doing Life with Itzy on a Bitsy Budget. Today we're going to make hamburger soup. It's a vegetable hamburger soup. It's very good. My mother's recipe, and we'll get started in just a few minutes in the kitchen. We're back in the kitchen. So I want to go over what we're going to need to make the soup before we get started, and then there'll be a little bit of cutting up and stuff, and we'll come back and film again. But you're going to need a pan and a pot, a big pot. Then you're going to need hamburger, and this is probably a pound and a half, celery, carrots, and any of this you can kind of eliminate here. I've just got a lot of canned vegetables, mainly beans. You need tomatoes for sure. You need tomato sauce, and you're going to need some spices. I've got garlic, parsley, bay leaves. I've got a mixture here because I didn't have any more oregano, and I want oregano in here, so I'll just use this. And Tabasco, you put about 3 little drops in, salt and pepper. And then I just used a couple of potatoes, an onion, and you'll just need some salt pork. And again, if you didn't have that, you wouldn't need it. I'm just going to take a slice or two and put that in there. So what I'll do first is I'll cut my onion, celery, and carrots up. Once I get that done, we'll come back and film again. I have cut up 2 carrots, 3 small potatoes, some 2 stalks of celery, and an onion. So I've got that ready to put in. What we're going to do first is we're going to fry this hamburger, which I'll add the spices here to. And again, you're just going to put pepper and your salt. Now I always take my spices or anything ingredients wise that I'm using and I move it to the side so I know I've done it. Sometimes you get sidetracked, and again, there's no measuring, I'm just putting it in. And when I taste my soup later on in the day, if I think it needs a little something more, I'll put it in there. But we're gonna fry this up. And then we will put all of our cans. So while I'm cooking this, I'm going to open up all of these cans and I'm going to put them with the water in the cans right into this pot. I'm not going to start cooking or anything. I'm just going to empty that in. And then we'll come back. Okay, I've got my hamburger fried. If you want to come over and show them that. And I dumped all of my cans of vegetables in this pot. I haven't stirred it or anything. I just put it in there. I want to tell you something about the hamburger. When you use hamburger, make sure you're not using a real lean hamburger for this, because you actually want some of the fat in this soup. It'll make it taste better. So make sure that you're keeping that not real lean. Make sure you're getting just like regular hamburger works great. All right, I want to point out one other thing, that you want these 2 ingredients, your tomato sauce and your tomatoes, in this soup, because you've got a broth that is going to be a tomato-based broth. So we want to make sure those are the only 2 cans of this stuff that you need. You can change it up. My mother always put peas in hers. I can't stand peas, so I did not put it in. So you can add any kind of, you could put black beans in this. You can add anything you want to add. It doesn't make a difference. All right, I'll just take these ingredients and I'll put those in, and then I'll put the hamburger in. So we'll come back in just a minute. I've got a few more spices to get out. Jennifer, can you come over and just show them how I've dumped everything in the pot? So the goal is to get it all in there, and you notice I've added a few more spices. They're just the same kind that I told you about that I put in with the hamburger, but just so it'd be a little more spicy. Then I'm going to take one of these bay leaves and I'm going to stick that in, and I'll put 2 or 3 little drops of Tabasco. Just give it a little zing. That's all you need, is a couple drops. And again, you can eliminate anything you may be allergic to. If you'll notice, my fat is still in here, and I'm going to put it right in the pot. Then I'm going to show you the last thing we're going to do before we start cooking. Once I get this in, I'll stir it. When I stir this up real good, I have to make sure that all of this is covered with the broth. It can't be too dry, and this is. Usually you're always adding water. So I'll come over here and I'll get a can or two of water. Just tap water. And I want to come over this about an inch. Now let's think another can. You can come back and look in the pot. And I might have to add another. But that looks good. Now, some of this floats up to the top. But you can see I've got enough broth going on. During the day when I'm cooking this, I always make sure that I've got enough broth. So if it starts getting too thick, I'll just add some water to it. And when you heat it up in the days to come, if you don't eat it all in one day, then you can just do the same thing. You can add some water before you put it on the stove to heat it up. Now, what we do next is we're going to bring this to a boil. Once this comes to a boil, again, we're going to be stirring it. We turn it to low. So you could do it two ways. If you're planning on eating this because you're going to go to work, you can throw it in a crock pot at that point. But you have to bring it to a boil to get all the seasoning to kind of come out and get in your broth good. So we want to bring it to a boil. We'll stir it, cover it up, and it'll cook here on low all day. We'll eat it tonight. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this great vegetable soup. We will do another, I will teach you how to do a fish chowder that's basically the same way, but you won't have the hamburger in it, and you'll throw a couple of handfuls of rice in there. But it makes a great vegetable fish soup, which is really good. Please like, subscribe, and share for me, and I appreciate you watching the video. Have a good day. We'll see you next time.